Hmm. Aha, we are live. Nice. Okay. How do I... Hey, what's up, Slooshy? How's it going? I'm still setting up things here. Still trying to figure out how technology works. I should have done this beforehand, but I literally just had no time. I think this is... what was it? Okay. I'm trying to figure out if I can... Oh no, how do I make it... Yeah. I might try turning it on and off again. I don't know if it will help in this situation though. How do I make it transparent? Huh. Okay. Let's see if this works. Does it work? I don't think it did. Huh. Oh, okay. I think this is it. I think the chat is now transparent and on the screen. There's a bit of stream delay. I'm just waiting to check if this is what I'm hoping to achieve, but otherwise I think this is fine. Also just going to check on the stream audio. Oh, but even the letters are transparent though. That is not what I wanted to achieve. I might just leave this for another day then. Yeah, it's transparent, but you can't actually see anything. Yeah, maybe like this. I'm just copy pasting stuff off of ChatGPT, just trying to get this to work. I should have definitely made this earlier, but I just didn't have the time. I think hopefully this is it. No, that is not it. Now I just reverted it. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I might just try this on another day. Okay, now let's see if this is what makes it. I don't think so. Unfortunate. The letters are still all white, all black, I mean. Oh well. Oh, is that it? Oh, nice. Nice, I got it. Yes, I think I got it. That's awesome. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Maybe I should move it to the other corner. That's better. Yep. I think this is it. Now, I'll just wait a few minutes for people to pop into the stream and I'll just order these in the meantime. Yep, I think this is working. Perfect. Sweet. Thank you. I think it looks good as well. It took a while. It took a while of discussing things with ChatGPT. Thankfully, HTML is no longer a thing. You can just ask ChatGPT things and it will answer. Beautiful. So for some reason, I tried importing these and these are not ordered at all. And it drives me insane as to why the order would somehow be reset. So let's just try ordering these like real quick. And then it's the Vincent one, and then it's the Sphinx one. I'm sure some of you know this by heart. I don't, I'll be honest. The covers, I could probably, if I really tried, I could guess a lot of them, but I wouldn't know the order for sure. It's just not something I'm into memorizing. I'm way too old and tired for this. Okay, after this it's the Spica one, and then after that is Priscilla. Talk about an upgrade, am I right? And then Priscilla, Al, Petra. Where is Petra? And then Petra, Yae, Felt, and then Rem, and then Al. Okay, that is perfect. What's up, Shivam? What's up, Hideo Geijima? I love your username. Okay, so I just love that username so much. It always pops me. So I'm just going to attempt to sort of clarify what we're going to be doing today, because I wanted to make a tier list, but I wanted to make it somewhat engaging and fun for people. And so this will be a bit of a thought experiment. I will tell you guys right away, I'm not super into sort of fragmenting the story into bits and pieces. I usually prefer looking at stories as an entire thing instead of just ranking every single bit and piece of it. But I think this as a thought exercise is going to be quite fun. So, hey Sia Estrella, what's going on? So for example, in Arc 3, some of you, for the very, very old school of you, if you guys watched my way earlier light novel reviews where the sound and image quality was even worse, if you can believe that. Actually, maybe I'll just yap for a bit. I'll just put on the camera. For some of you guys who watched my Arc 3 reviews in terms of light novels, when it was even more scuffed than it is now, you will know that I have a very hard time getting through Volume 4. Because it's just, the secondhand embarrassment is almost unbearingly just terrifying to me. It's torturous for me to read certain parts of that book. And yet, as you guys know, Volume 4 and Subaru making a fool of himself at the Royal Castle and getting outmatched in a duel, this is a euphemism, but outmatched in a duel against Julius, is obviously a necessary, very important part for Subaru's growth. You cannot have the rest of Arc 3 without Volume 4, as much as Volume 4 is very painful for me to read. Which is why, generally speaking, I don't super like to fragment things and sort of rank them, because they're all parts of a bigger whole. You need the fall before you get the peak, if you get what I'm saying. But still, we're going to do this today. It's going to be fun. And I anticipate that this will be relatively controversial. This tier ranking will be live streamed, and I am someone who is very stubborn, but I can be reasoned with. So this list will likely end up being different than a list that I would have done by myself, just recording a video. You guys have the power to influence me, so use it wisely. Now, my original idea for this video was to, hey, you watched all the LN reviews, that's awesome, man, that's a lot of videos. I could barely believe when I counted all of the LN reviews that it was just like, if you count the X volumes and the chapter reviews, obviously, it's like over 50 videos. That's insane to me. When I started, this was just supposed to be like a one-time thing, just reviewing a novel that I was enjoying reading, but either way. So for today, these are the books that I read in the year of 2025. And this was going to be a sort of my reading year in, I guess, retrospective, and I was going to rank them all. But then if you look at this list, it becomes very apparent I pretty much just read Rezero in one single volume of Overlord. And for those of you who are more attentive, you will notice this is pretty much half of Arc 7, all of Arc 8, and all of Arc 9. So I decided if we're going to be ranking all of these volumes, then why not just add the last 4, or should I say the first 4 volumes of Arc 7, and just rank all of the arcs and just be done with it. Instead of making a more general video, let's just make it a Rezero only video. So I will now add the other 4 Arc 7 volumes, which are missing. Hold up. Arc 7, where is it? Other volumes, here it is. And also, making this video also sort of put it into perspective, where I was a bit harsh on myself at certain points in the year because I thought that I was being too slow on my reading. But looking back on this list, I read 15 books in a year, so that's roughly more than a book a month, which isn't bad. Keep in mind, I am aware these are light novels, these aren't like big romance novels which are huge, but still, I think for somebody that has my schedule and let's just say my personal responsibilities, I think this is honestly a pretty respectable amount. Yeah, Arc 2 is also a setup arc, once again, which is why, like, the whole arc ranking thing, if I had to rank all of the arcs, for example, I think it is a very tough call to put Arc 1, for example, not in last place. I think it's a very tough call to not put Arc 1 in last place, but at the same time, Arc 1 is like the tutorial for the anime itself, and I am pretty sure that Arc 1 in retrospect will have a lot of hidden details that people missed, including some deep details which were revealed in Arc 9. So it's, once again, the sort of, you have to sort of take the story as a whole, but let's just do this fun exercise. Arc 8 is like a fever dream. I remember like 4 scenes from it. I can totally understand that. Okay, so let's put it on the stream now. Yeah, Arc 8, I'll be honest, Arc 8 for me, and this will probably be controversial, but just off the top of my head, and this will also be a good thought exercise for me to sort of remember what Arc 7 and Arc 8 were like, but to me, from what I remember, I think Arc 7 was roughly overall worse. It had worse moments, but it had higher peaks in Arc 8. This is what I remember just off the top of my head. But let's once again put this year into perspective and start right away. So, if you guys ever saw my previous tier lists, you guys know that for better or for worse, I have this thing where I am old, I am almost 30 years old, and I have seen a lot of shows, and I have read some books, and I have a very, very strong pre-selection bias, where I am pretty sure if I'm going to like something before I watch it or not. Obviously, I always try to experiment occasionally, so I don't just keep circle jerking the same works over and over, right? But it is very rare that I watch a show that I do not enjoy because my pre-selection bias is just so strong. What this ends up in some of the tier lists, like we saw, for example, in the last tier list that I live stream, was pretty much all of the list was very top heavy. It was all in great because every single thing that I watch, I think it's great because I don't watch the things that I think are bad. So obviously, when it comes to Rezero, I think that if I were to do just a normal peak, great, good, mid, whatever, I think a lot of the volumes would just be in peak and great. Realistically speaking, I would dump the entirety of Arc 9 into peak. Maybe not the first volume, because the first volume still has the Vollachia aftermath and a bit of setting up the story and whatnot, but the final chapters, I love Rezero so much, and I love Arc 9 in particular so much, I don't think this is a surprise to anyone that has watched the reviews, that I would just dump everything into peak. So in order to prevent a very ridiculous, just boring list where it's very top heavy and everything's in peak and everything's great, what I did was I'm going to force myself to make a sort of normal distribution where we have at most 3 books in S tier, 4 in A, 5 in B, 4 in C, and 3 in D. This is going to be very forced, but it will make me think, and it will force me to make some uncomfortable choices, and it will force me to actually determine what were my 3 favorite books from all of these arcs. So I think this will be quite a challenging thought experiment, but let's have fun with it. And once again, you guys feel free to chime in and chime along, and it's going to be fun. Sup, Vasco? How's it going? I said Vasco because I'm assuming you're Portuguese, but if you're not, then I apologize for the unintentional Portuguese accent. Either way, I just slipped in the Overlord book here because, as you guys, I've already explained to you, this was supposed to be like my year in retrospect. Let's just get this out of the way. This is in D tier. For those of you who have never read Overlord, I guarantee you the series is actually pretty good. It has some banger volumes. Volume 8 is not one of those, let's put it lightly. This is, according to many fans, and according to myself really, probably the worst volume in the entire Overlord series. I think that it is pretty much a side story. It is, and the thing is that the author of Overlord doesn't really do many side stories, so he just added this into the main line, even though it is essentially a side story. I would equate this to pretty much, I guess, X3 in terms of quality. I think it may actually be a bit better than the vast majority of X3, if I'm being honest. I really don't like X3. I think it's by far the worst Rezero book. But either way, this volume isn't excellent. It's quite mid, but once again, it's not representative of the quality of the Overlord series as a whole. And if I'm being honest, just pew pew, just throwing a few shots in here, I think that the Overlord approach of sort of blending in side stories and main stories into the main line, into just the numbered books, can be a bit better, a bit easier to follow along than whatever Tape does with the side stories and the X volumes and the Tapenshus and the whatever they're drafted in a cereal box or whatever he's doing. That can get quite confusing, and it really annoys me when something in the main story isn't quite clear or quite well explained, and fans say, well, you just have to read the side stories. It's like, guys, there's a million side stories. At what point do we have a limit to the homework that we have to do to read and enjoy a story? Come on, guys. Either way, I think, just as a sort of side note, just to finish that topic, I think for arcs 8, 7, and 9, I think Tape did a very good job at explaining to main story readers things that he had previously explained or perhaps even retconned in the side story. So I think he did a pretty good job. I think even if some side story readers had an advantage coming into some of these arcs, I think that advantage was very quickly cleared away. And I myself, as somebody who just pretty much only read the X volumes and nothing else besides that, I don't feel at a disadvantage at this point in time in terms of information compared to side story readers. Now, let's get right into it. Let's just sub K-Blast. Yeah, in terms of Overlord, I will say I don't know. I'll be honest. Overlord has, let me check. It has 16 volumes. I haven't read the last 2. I'm waiting to just reread the entire series and then I'll read the last 2. From what I have heard, the author is sort of either in a writer's block or just sort of lost a bit of interest in the story. From what I've read, I don't think there's a clear end in sight. He has said that he will end the story soon, but soon has been years. And we all know how soon works in the anime light novel industry. I still remember, I think it was 10 years ago, the Eiichiro Oda, the author of One Piece, said that One Piece was about to end and everybody freaked out. And we are still 10 years later going super strong. Season 1, wink wink, just ended. So it's still going strong. Volume 8 Slander will be tolerated. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, Hideo, I don't think it's that bad. It did not give me dementia. I thought it was cute, but once again, I already read Volume 8. This was a reread, so I knew coming in what I was going in for. I knew it was sort of a side story, but I will be honest, sure, I was making the videos, I was catching up to the Rezero web novel, I was producing all of this content, but still, Volume 8 of Overlord, if we are being honest, I started reading it in October, and I finished it last week. I'm just going to throw that out there, so... So yeah, let's start with, right away, Volume 26. What happened in Volume 26? This is the first volume of Vollachia, the Land of the Wolves, and this was the volume where, first of all, we had, of course, I predicted this. I loved so much that I predicted this in my Volume 25 review, that Subaru was coming on too strong to a person who's amnesiac and has no memories. If you just woke up without any memories and somebody just came on to you like, hey, I love you, I'm your hero, you would be very freaked out. This guy is kind of kooky. So I love the twist. I love the chase. I thought the chase was very good. We got introduced to what is arguably one of my favorite characters in ReZero, Todd, and I just think this was very delicious because we got to see many sides of Todd, and he was introduced at first as a very friendly, sort of bro-ish character, and then we saw the true monster that he is, and I just love that reveal. And obviously we had the, I don't remember what this was called, the Shudrak trial, challenge, whatever it was, that was extremely peak. I, for example, love this illustration. It's one of my favorites. It is so gory and intense. And obviously we had the the Shudrak ladies. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. If I ever make a tier list for character designs for characters of the light novels, you know these babes are going up top because my goodness. Oh my goodness. Now, having said all of this, I do have to be honest and say that once again, I have to be stingy because I only have like 7 spots up top. So while this volume was good, was it top 12 good? Was it top 7 good? I don't know because we have a lot of peak incoming. So I'm going to be, I'm going to be purposefully stingy. I'm going to temporarily, and keep in mind, this is a list that I'll probably rearrange as I'm doing it. I will initially put it at C. Just because I'm trying to think of so many books that I want to put in the top tiers. I just can't find a reason right away to put it much higher than this. But let's see how this progresses. Amazing pace for starting the arc. Oh, right. And speaking of pace, you just reminded me of something. Volume 16, I will say right away, I have a big problem with this volume. You just reminded me of this. Speaking of pacing. I think, and I have yet to read the light novel version of this. Once again, you guys know that I have no time, but I think, I'm pretty sure the Yen Press release of this is already out. So whenever I have time, I will buy it, I will read it, and I will review it. I'm pretty sure that they fixed this in the light novel version, but in the web novel version, during the chase of Subaru and Rem, they kept intertwining with these sort of weird flashbacks, which to me added little to nothing and were just distracting and were just super jarring and cut the pace so much. And I don't know. I think from what some of you guys told me in the comments of that review, I think those were removed in the light novel. If I were the editor for Tape, I would have told them the exact same thing. But either way, it gets -1 point for that, so it stays in the top 16. Now, let's go into ReZero Volume 27. And once again, guys, I know some of you guys have like perfect memory. It amazes me when I see on Twitter some of you guys making like episode rankings and chapter rankings. Like, I have no idea off the top of my head what episode 13 or 12 was. Like, I don't know. So I'm going to be using the wiki to sort of guide me through, but yeah, if you guys know this out of your own memory, that's super cool. I'm way too old and tired and underslept for any of that, okay? So I'm going to be using the wiki. Now, let's just address the chat here. Yeah, I think, yeah, Nicholas, I agree with you. I think the flashback really wanted to make a sort of parallel between Subaru being alone in the jungle and all of those moments that he spent at the mansion and sort of like to further emphasize his loneliness. But the thing about those flashbacks were that they were just too much, and they just cut the pacing too much, and I was just enjoying the sort of chase so much because Rem is a demon. She's an Oni, just literally and figuratively, and she is very smart, and she is ferocious, and she was determined to get away from Subaru, and because she had no affection towards him at that point in time, she was just very, very nasty with her tactics, and I was so invested in the chase, and every time I was about to get into the chase and I was enjoying it more, we had a flashback, and it was about Clint, it was about Petra, it was about Frederica, and oh my goodness, just I don't care about any of this, show me the chase, Rem is back after 10 volumes, give me Rem right now. So yeah, I don't know, I just did not like those flashbacks at all. Slightly crazy. Is this going to be a vid? Excited for the stream. Yes, this is going to be a vid. You are watching it right now. I don't think that I will probably have time to just sort of chop this up into a single video. So enjoy it. I will probably add the timestamps. I always do that at the end of the stream. It may take me a day or two because I'm super busy. But yeah, this is the video. You're watching it right now. You're part of the movement. Sign up. Yeah, so I have limited time, so let's just move on to volume 27. This volume, and this is going to be controversial, guys, okay? Because in my opinion, I know some of you guys loved the cross-dressing stuff, but in my opinion, this volume was super schizo because I loved the first half of it, the Todd introduction, the loops, Todd being an absolute maniac, him being the perfect counter to Subaru, him being the first villain that does not let Subaru yap. He just brings the axe and boom, descends it upon Subaru's frail neck, and it is beautiful, okay? I loved the Todd moments were intense, they were insane, they were gripping, some of the best moments of writing in Arc 7. But then we had the cross-dressing endeavor, and I will be honest, once again, I know this from my review, a lot of you guys disagree with me, that's fine. I thought this whole thing was super silly, super goofy, and it was especially jarring after the Todd moments because you had such serious moments and then you just had the cross-dressing stuff and I was like, what? The thing is, this reminds me of that meme, if you guys ever saw that, where it's like, today's episode, the writer's barely disguised fetish, and it just reminds me of that meme because, okay, let's say that Subaru is this Asian boy that's very slim, narrow-shouldered, has a very androgynous face. He can be very good at cross-dressing, even with, let's be real here, no modern-day makeup. They just had stuff and just primitive pigments from the middle of the jungle, okay, guys? But sure, I can suspend my disbelief that Subaru is just a god at cross-dressing and he can pull this off. I do not believe the same can be said for Flop and Vincent, especially Vincent. Come on, guys. I imagine Vincent, if there was ever a live action, and please no, it's going to be horrible if they ever tried to do a live action, but if I imagine Vincent in real life, I imagine him as this sort of like Giga Chad, very serious, very stern face, like a very masculine face. I just cannot imagine him pulling this off. It's just so goofy and just it sort of goes way beyond my suspension of disbelief. I hated this whole thing, especially because there's not an image here. Yeah, we just have the image with Jamal, but there is a moment which, once again, I don't know if they cut that in the light novel or not. I hope they did, but there is a moment in the web novel in which Todd meets Subaru as Natsumi Schwartz, and the character that you just spent so much time introducing as this paranoid freak who is super attentive to detail could not see that Subaru was cross-dressing. Especially, this ages especially bad because in Arc 8, you then realize that Todd is a werewolf, so I don't care how much perfume Natsumi Schwartz was using, a werewolf being just 1 feet from him couldn't smell his arch nemesis? Come on, guys, that is just crazy. Either way, all of this to say that I loved the Todd segments and I really didn't like the cross-dressing segments. And yes, I know it's an unpopular opinion, but it is my opinion. So, where am I going to put this? once again, maybe I will give it the benefit of the doubt. Keep in mind, once again, this list will be moving. I will put it at good just because I thought the Thought segment was tremendous and it sort of made me fall in love with Arc 7. I was a bit hesitant initially with Arc 7, even though I was liking some bits of it, but the Thought moment was just, oh my goodness, I am fully bought into Arc 7. But the cross-dressing bit, in my opinion, just sort of detracts from it. What's up? It's LMP. You caught me live. This time I announced it. You guys told me to announce it, and I announced it. So I hope some of you guys managed to see the announcement first. Yeah, Nicholas Seju. Yeah, every single Thought interaction is just brutal. He just has the most chaotic and just evil one-liners. He is so pragmatic. The thing is that you could see Todd working in a corporate office and him being like very good at the executive life because he's just super professional, super rational. I watched American Psycho a few weeks back, and Todd, in a way, kind of reminds me of Patrick Bateman, which is funny to think about. But they're different. They're different. Yeah, Costas, and let me tell you, the cross-dressing bit, and let's just transition into that right away. I enjoyed Natsumi Schwartz much more in Volume 28. I thought it was much more well done in Volume 28. Him just being sort of undercover as another identity, to be sort of, you know, to hide his true identity and to be in this sort of better integrate themselves in this new country where everything is foreign to him. I really enjoy this. And one of my main problems from the previous volume is that it's not that Subaru himself cross-dressed, is that Vincent and Flop also cross-dressed, as if it's that somehow a very easy thing to do and fool everybody, when it's just not. So I enjoyed Natsumi Schwartz much more in Volume 28. I think it was done much better. And speaking of Volume 28, let's take a look at it. What actually happened here? It was mostly them. It was the Todd and Jamal adventures in Guaral, just escaping with Arakia. It was the fight that was broken up by Priscilla. And it was them going into Chaos Flame. And then there's the twist at the end where Subaru turns into a child. Oh, obviously it had this moment where Ram just destroyed Subaru's heart, which was... It was kind of funny because even though obviously I, as a reader, am rooting for Subaru, he kind of deserved it because once again, he just sort of overwhelmed Ram with no memories whatsoever. He just sort of overwhelmed her. And I just think this was entirely justified from her point of view. So I enjoyed this volume, but when we also had the Ram and Priscilla connection, that was fun. That really made me hope. Obviously, we all know how Arc 8 ended and what happened to Priscilla, but it really made me hope that Ram was going to join the Priscilla camp. I was so looking forward to that. I thought it was going to be so juicy, but I also thought that the author didn't have the courage to do it, and in a twisted way, he didn't have the courage to do it. So that's all I'll say about that. I thought this volume was cool. Once again, very information dumpy. They sort of explained what's actually happening and they did a lot of exposition in this volume. Once again, I am going to be very stingy because we only have 7 spots up top. I think this one is a deserved C. I don't think... It may go up, it may go down. Let's see. I don't think this was one of the best volumes. Now, let's catch up with the chat. Yeah, Kairos. Some of these names I get twisted. Yeah, I totally agree because it's not just cross-dressing. When people think cross-dressing, they think of like professional cross-dressers and cosplayers who do this, for example, at conventions, and they do an amazing job with it. But these were like 3 dudes, only one of which has experience with this, which is Subaru, and they're doing it with the stuff they find in the middle of the jungle. It's just, come on, guys. And how did they sound like convincing women? Yeah, sure. There's also the voice part. I appreciated that Vincent never spoke. They at least had that where Vincent just sort of never even attempted to sound like a woman. But that is also very hard for a man. If you ever attempted to do that, then yeah. If I speak like this, do you believe I'm a woman? Probably not. What was at the bottom? Oh, hey, it's LMP. You must have arrived later. This was initially supposed to be all of the volumes that I read in 2025, and it's pretty much all Rezero and 1 single volume of Overlord, so that's that. This is volume 8 of Overlord, which is, in my opinion, the worst one. I wish sup Orlando, I wish Al and Arakia had more interactions. Yeah, I mean, the thing about Al and Arakia having more interactions is that while they do have a past from the X volumes, Arakia is not much of a speaker, if you get what I mean. She pretty much only talks with Priscilla and people who just boss her around like Todd. So while I do understand the sentiment, I don't think those interactions would have been like super fruitful or super juicy from a reader standpoint, if that makes sense. The Mickey Mouse voice. I want to get sponsored by Disney. Actually, I have no idea how to read your name, mate. I think it's Korean, but I have no idea how to read it, so apologies. Vincent experienced cross-dressing before. Did he? Was that in the X volumes or in other side stories? I don't remember that from the X volumes. Maybe it was just said in passing. Either way, let's go into the next volume, volume 29. And this is where things start getting... Okay. This is the Chaos Flame volume. And this, I'll just be honest, the entire sequence with Subaru, Spica, not Spica, at the time Louis, Subaru, Louis, and Yorna versus Olbart was one of my favorite fights in the entire series. Just straight up, at the moment of reading this, my favorite fight was Elsa versus Garfield, and when I read this became my new favorite fight. This was just tremendous. Just the visual spectacle of having Yorna just dance on the castle while fighting off Olbart, who has all sort of ninja tricks and also all sorts of just tomfoolery, and he fights so dirty, and that clashes with Subaru's values so much. And there's all of these great moments and the entire sequence where Subaru is just stuck on this just seconds loop, and he just keep resetting and just blowing up, and he has to do this exact pattern of movement so he doesn't blow off his eardrums and his eyes, and it's just so gory. And he's also a child during all of this, which makes it even worse. This was just guys, I'll be honest, once again, I only have 3 peaks, but this has to go in A, at least. I might put it in peak, let's see, but at the very minimum, this has to be top 7. I love this volume. I loved it so much. The hide and seek with Olbart was also fun. Once again, I think the fight was just stunning and what drew me more to the volume, but the hide and seek was also very fun. Olbart is a maniac. This is where you really start understanding that people in Vollachia are just built different, and by different, I mean completely crazy, and Olbart is definitely the epitome of Vollachia and Wallachian values. I don't know, I think... also, we introduced the soul marriage technique. I just think this volume had so many good moments. At the time, I wasn't totally convinced with Tanza. To be honest, I probably still am not super convinced with Tanza. I just think she's like a worse version of Beatrice. But yeah, to me, this volume is without a doubt this volume was just incredible. Oh, what's up, No Six Packs? Welcome tonight. Thank you so much for the subscription. Thank you so much. Yeah, peak volume. Volume 32 was worse. New Night. Yeah, thank you so much. I love the role playing in the chat here. Probably it was in the web novel, huh? Are you tougher than the folks in my village were? I loved it so much because once again, I am super bad with coming up with the quotes from memory, but you guys remember it all. I think that's super cool. I mean, I think once again, No Six Pack, I think, yeah, sure, it may be carried a bit by its ending, but once again, I think the ending is tremendous. And also, I think the ending, love can be... I think it's probably the last 3 to 4 chapters, so it's not really just the final chapter, but even then, the lead up to that, it has some emotional moments. It has the chase scene with Olbart. It has that one loop where they discover that Olbart actually wants to kill the Emperor, and that was just a super surprising twist. I love that one a lot. And it had a lot of... it even had a sort of emotional moment with Medium, which was also super cute. I don't know. It also had the scenes with the shoe drac and the soul marriage technique. I don't know. I think this volume was very good. It definitely ramped up and the ending was super peak. But I think it is a deserved A tier. And let's just see where we go from here. I really don't want to demote it. Once again, I'm going to try my best to have a sort of normal distribution, but I really don't want to demote it to B tier. I think it's an A. I really think it's an A, even with Arc 9 coming. So let's see. Now, volume 30. This is the volume where... Oh, of course. Okay, so... What's up, Takeda? Oh, hello from Russia. I don't know how to say anything in Russian, I think. Actually, I think I know a few swear words, which I'm not going to say. But thank you for watching. Yeah, the rest is just great. Yeah, exactly, no six-pack. The rest is just great, which is why I'm forcing myself to do this sort of normal distribution, because if I were just doing a sort of fair Rezero analysis, I would just dump everything into great and peak, and there's just no fun in that. So now, to volume 30, this is the first volume in the main series with no Subaru. And I have to say, this was a mixed bag. In my opinion, this was a mixed bag. Once again, I commend the author for the courage. This was a very ballsy move, but at the same time, I don't think it's controversial to say, please correct me in the chat if you think otherwise, I don't think it's controversial to say this was not one of the best Arc 7 volumes. I think this was one of the many volumes that had perhaps a bit of bloat. It had some great moments. Once again, it had the dual Vincent confrontation. It had this entire scene with I'm forgetting what her name is. Tarita. I just forget names all the time. It had this confrontation with Tarita of her choosing to follow destiny or deny destiny. I love those sort of cheesy destiny bending moments. I think they're super thought-provoking. It had the scene with Heinkel jobbing once again. It had the peak team up of Ice and Fire, much like Game of Thrones, Priscilla and Emilia fighting together against a common foe. Super cool. It had the very, let's be honest, this moment was very shocking and at the same time very unrealistic. Flop should not have survived this, guys. Come on, it was very plot convenient, but hey, I will allow it, okay? Subaru has survived worse in some of the winning loops, so I don't know. Once again, I thought this had a lot of exposition. We got to know sort of Flop's connection to the entire thing with the dragons and all and whatnot. I keep forgetting the names. Balroy. It's Flop's connection to Balroy. The names just keep evading me for some reason when I'm live streaming. This is one of those things where if I was recording a video, I would just cut it, go to the wiki, check the names, and record again. But because I'm live streaming, you guys have to sort of see me spin my wheels in my brain trying to remember all of these goofy names. Either way, I think this volume, once again, it had some very good moments, but at the same time, I think it was the first volume without Subaru. It was a sort of experimental volume almost. I really think that the author was almost trying to prime himself and prime the reader for what was to come in Arc 9, because it is very clear he had already planned for Arc 9 before writing this. And I just think, once again, it's not like I hate the volume, but we have to be realistic. And there's only so few spots at the top. I have to put it at C. I think it's at top 16. Once again, I'm leaving a lot of room for Arc 9 here, and possibly some volumes as well from Arc 7 and 8. Let's see how this pans out. I really like this volume, really love the Tarita chapter, but also some moments that dragged. Yeah, I think, no six-pack, I think that pretty much summarizes Arc 7 in a nutshell. It has some moments I really love, but also had some moments that dragged, and lots of action which can be difficult for me to read. I think that summarizes it very, very accurately. Aldebaran carried that volume. Really, I actually don't remember much from Aldebaran. I remember he started freaking out. Are you talking about, maybe you're talking about the previous one, the Chaos Flame one. I think this is not the one where, is Al even in this volume? No, he is for sure, because they still show the Chaos Flame fights. Yeah. He's just not in the images. Yeah, I pretty much enjoy the most was Tarita and the team up of Emilia and Priscilla. I also really enjoyed sort of Ram's moral dilemma with sort of trying to be a good person, even without having her memories, and trying to juggle all of these different things and trying to juggle like whatever Subaru told her and Priscilla's advice. I think that was the most compelling to me. Also, there was the introduction of Madeline, which to me personally, it's not my favorite character, but I get some people will probably be very excited for Madeline. She's a dragon, a dragon. I feast on Tart and every bit of I can like a get. Yeah. I understand. Yeah, JB, once again, you guys have arrived later. This was supposed to be a review of all the books I read in 2025, which is pretty much Rezero and Overlord Volume 8, which is the worst one in the series. So that's what this is. I should probably remove this because people just come into the Inco asking the exact same thing. Are you guys trolling me right now? Are you trolling me? Or are you just coming into the stream? I don't know. But either way, I should maybe remove this one. How do I even remove that? I don't know. Let's just leave it at that. You guys can keep trolling me. Okay, so Overlord Volume 30 goes into C. Okay, let's go into the next one. 31. Okay, 31 is the Gladiator Island volume. So, this volume, without wanting, the Overlord scandal is crazy. It's a scandal for sure. I can just imagine the Slander. Yeah, I mean, scandal works here as well. I can just imagine a fan of Overlord just coming into the stream like, why does he hate Overlord so much? He has Overlord in its name. And it's like, guys, please, this is a side story. It's not that good. There are much better volumes. Volume 9 is super peak. Trust me, okay? Now, Gladiator Island, without wanting to sound too hyperbolic, too exaggerated, without wanting to sound like a fanboy who glazes mindlessly, this volume is absolute peak. It is one of my favorite volumes in the entire series. Todd is my favorite villain. The entire thing where we had this theme of the sort of broken RBD where it was sort of advancing in time as it was resetting. This was something that was explored in Summertime Rendering. For those who have watched that series, I don't think that Summertime Rendering quite really explored that theme to its fullest potential. I think here it was done beautifully. I think we have a bit of the initial Sparka, which is very intense, but then the moment Todd gets introduced, this volume just becomes suffocating. You see Subaru just trying his best, trying everything. He's running out of time. He's losing more and more people. The resets keep becoming shorter and shorter, and Todd just has his number. Todd is just his arch nemesis. He will stop at nothing. He doesn't give him time to yap. He gives him no information in any loops. He just boom, gives him the axe to the face. And oh my goodness, not even child Subaru can elicit any type of emotion from Todd. Todd just goes for it. Todd is a maniac. Todd is my favorite. And then at the end, Subaru giving in and calling for Satella, the person that has caused him in a way so much torment, the person that he has such a conflicted relationship with, and yet the person that he calls to in his moment of need. It's just, the entire volume is pure peak and definitely worthy of one of the 3 peak spots. This is one of my favorite volumes in the entire series. And I know that some of you don't like the Gladiator Island because you thought the reset at the end was cheap or whatever. And I understand that, and I strongly disagree. I love this volume. It is S tier. It is peak. It is amazing. I love it so much. The dynamic with Todd, the dynamic with Ceci, it's just beautiful, beautiful stuff. Even Arakia does a pretty good job at just sort of being this mindless robot that just goes in for the kill. It's super good. I also love Gustav as a character very, very much. The only thing besides sort of the ending, which some fans call cheap, I don't think it is. Once again, the only thing that can really be held against this volume is that these 3 characters, the Pleiades battalion characters, were introduced, and one can argue that they're sort of filler characters because they're only really relevant in this volume, and they appear in other volumes, but they never really have the spotlight on them after this volume. That is a fair criticism, and yet I don't care. I just don't care about that at all. I think they serve their purpose. They added to the brutality of this volume, and I don't care about their later use. Their use in this volume, volume 31, was magnificent, and that is all I care about. So volume 31 goes into peak, the first one of the only 3 volumes today that we're going to put into the S tier. Now let's take a look at the comments. 31 was peak, a fellow enjoyer. Todd solo the whole volume, S tier. Nice, Takeda. Enjoyers, we rise. Nice. Summertime rendering. Oh, another person who watched Summertime rendering. Yeah, just a quick side note about summertime rendering. I started watching that with my wife, actually, because I watched the first 1 or 2 episodes, and it was summertime rendering. For those who've never watched it, is this sort of time loop murder mystery that is actually very interesting. And it started off as something that I thought, my wife will really enjoy this because she loves time travel stories, she loves murder mysteries, and I thought, wow, this is another anime to watch with my girlfriend. At the time, already wife? I can't remember the timeline. Either way, it doesn't matter. Wife. And so I started watching with her, and as the series progressed from sort of murder mystery into just a sort of almost generic battle shonen, she started hating it. And at one point, she was straight up hate watching it. I was still enjoying it somewhat, even though I did think it was much weaker than the initial premise showed itself to be. But she was just straight up hate watching it. And it was so funny to watch her commentary because she was just constantly complaining, where's the mystery? Why are they fighting so much? I don't want to see the fights. I want to see the psychological elements. And it was just super funny. But, yeah, that sort of traumatized me, and nowadays I always sort of pre-watch anime before I watch it with her. For example, I watched Apothecary Diaries before recommending it to her because I had to make sure it was something that she would enjoy. But either way, that's just a funny story. My favorite Arc 7 volume. Yeah, Colby, I totally agree. It is 31 is my favorite Arc 7 volume as well. I agree. Top 3. Yep. See ya. You also have excellent taste. Caught up with the insane levels. Yeah, the thing about summertime rendering was that it just switched genres too quickly. Like halfway through the series, just becomes something else entirely. Is summertime rendering still a recommendation? It's on my watch list. Okay, so for those who have never watched it, just to wrap this up before I go to the next volume, I will say this. If you like Rezero, I think there are a lot of elements you will enjoy about summertime rendering. You have a looping main character that goes back in time when he dies, so the exact same as Rezero. The main difference being, at a certain point, the time travel is not limitless like Subaru has it. So every time he time loops, the time advances a little bit. So he keeps going forward and forward in time as he goes back. So sort of like exactly what happens in volume 31 of Rezero. The story itself starts off as a mystery, but sort of progresses into more of a battle shonen-esque towards the end. It sort of reminds me, let's say, it's sort of like if you watch ReZero Season 2, if you watch Arc 4, and then you sort of go into Arc 5, it's more of that. It still has a bit of mystery, but at the end, it's mostly just a lot of fight scenes. So for those who enjoy that type of thing, I thought that the animation was pretty good, the soundtrack was pretty good, the voice acting was pretty good. It just sort of betrays the viewer's expectations halfway through. If you know this coming in, you can still enjoy it. I think there's definitely a huge overlap between somebody who enjoys ReZero and somebody who enjoys summertime rendering. I think you guys can check it out, but it's definitely not for everybody. And if you sort of hate battle shonen-esque cheesy endings, I don't think you will enjoy summertime rendering very much. So that's pretty much that. Yeah, give it a watch if you have the time. The only thing about summertime rendering is that at the time it was on Disney Jail, and so I watched it in Japan. I went to Japan and I watched it on Japanese television. If you catch my drift. Anyway, let's move on before the lawyers get me. Do not sue me. This is a joke for comedic purposes. ReZero Volume 32. What happens in Volume 32? Okay, yeah, so this is actually a tough one to rate, I'll be honest, because the thing about this volume is that Volume 32 and Volume 33 is, in my opinion, where it's too much. It's a lot of things happening, and by trying to pay attention to every single characters, both the main cast of the Emilia camp and also the many characters of Vollachia that we have introduced towards Arc 7, I think this volume becomes a bit too convoluted. Just look at the images. We have Serena, by the way, another peak tier design. My goodness, Serena. We have Serena, the haughty babe, the mamacita. We have the sort of Shisha storyline. We have Ram and, once again, what's her name? I keep forgetting. Katya is her name. We have Garfield versus god damn it, I keep forgetting Kafma. Jesus Christ, I keep forgetting the names. We have the entire fight with Heinkel. We have the dragon thingy. We have Todd versus the kids and Otto, so pretty much the kids. We have Olbart popping in out of nowhere. We have the entire thing with Spica, at the time Louis, with Louis and Beatrice just gobbling up the shot from the cannon. Just looking at the images, just look at the sheer amount of things that happen in this volume. This volume is a lot of things. It's also a mess. So I don't quite know. I think this is one of the volumes that pretty much epitomizes like all of the problems with Arc 7, where it has a lot of good stuff happening, but it's just a lot of things and it becomes too much. It becomes too convoluted at one point. So Volume 32, I don't even know. Volume 32, I'll put it at C. I think this is one of the candidates that I'll probably have to put at D, because keep in mind, I will have to reserve 2 more volumes to put in the D tier. This may be one of those that goes into D tier, if I'm being totally honest. Also, this was another volume without Subaru, which at the time kind of frustrated me, because after Volume 31, and I said this in my review, after Volume 31, you are hyped, you are excited, you are just juicy. You have this ending where Subaru manages to get the good ending, the clear ending without anyone dying. He manages to get the entire Gladiator Island on his side. It's so good. You're so hyped. And then you go into the next volume and no Subaru. No Subaru inside. He appears on like the last page. And it's just, okay then. Thanks for getting me excited. I don't know, guys. To me, I think, once again, we can only have 4 in C tier. I think I might even demote this volume. Let's put it in D. Let's put it in D for now. I will, once again, at the end, I will sort of rearrange the list once again. But yeah, I think I have limited spots up top. I have to put some books up here on the bottom, and I think this one is a good candidate for it. Is this the volume with the Shisha named chapter? No, I think that was the next one. The Todd fight was good. The Todd fight, we only had really a preview of it in this volume. Todd fought Al in the next one. 32 was too much for me. It broke the pacing from 31. I think the exact same thing, Sia. I agree with you totally. Hey, bye Hideo. Thanks for coming. Thanks a lot for coming, man. And yeah, so let's go into actually the next volume, volume 33 then, which has some of the things you guys are mentioning. This is the volume where you have the actual Todd fight, Todd versus Al and the kids, which is very cool, and Al cheated with his authority, as he always does, because otherwise my goat would have wiped them out, axe to face, boom, boom, boom. It would have been easy mode, easy game. And then you have, obviously, the grand arrival of Subaru and the Pleiades Battalion, which, I'll be honest, narratively speaking, let's just be 100% clear here. It was a very hype moment, but they didn't do much. They didn't do much, let's just be honest about it. It was very hype, but they didn't do a lot in terms of narrative. But sure, it was very cool. We also had, I guess, this moment with Rem, whatever. And then we had, obviously, the reveal of the Grand Disaster, which was peak. And obviously, we had the moment with Vincent, or should I say Shisha, disguised as Vincent. So 33 was good. I think 33 was good. Also had the Vincent moment where he's just yapping, giving the motivational speech with the sun behind him. Everybody just paying homage to the true Emperor of Vollachia. Also, great moment. We also had a Shisha's backstory, which was also very enjoyable. I think, once again, you have Rum and the Shudrak ladies. You have Ceci coming back, helping Emilia. Once again, yeah, and you had this fight as well. Once again, a lot of things happened in this volume. Much like the previous volume, this one was also very convoluted with a lot of stuff happening. But I think this one is, generally speaking, better. It had better moments. It had better, just overall story moments that stick more in the mind. And therefore, I'm thinking of putting volume 33 in either top 12 or top 7. But I think, or maybe top 16. I'll put it top 12 for now. I'll put it top 12 for now. Let's put it here and let's see where we go from here. Let's see what you guys are saying. 33 speak. 33 is a lot better for me. Totally agree. Totally agree. Such a banger chapter, the Shisha one. Yeah, I quite enjoyed Shisha. And one thing we do have to note is that Arc 7 is huge, but if we really think about it, Shisha barely appears. If we actually talk about percentage of Arc 7, Shisha doesn't have a lot of spotlight in the arc itself, and so for the author to sort of get us to care about Shisha so much in almost just a single measly chapter, that's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive. Kudos to the author. Yeah, you guys are talking about the cover. Guys, yeah, one day I will make a cover tier list, and it annoys me to no end that this is the cover for volume 33. It is just so lame. Why would they spoil it? It's just I hate this cover so much. And even like sort of skipping ahead, volume 34, the cover sort of fooled me because I thought they were doing the same thing they did, for example, with the Felt cover in Arc 3, where they're showing where some characters are, even though the characters aren't necessarily in the arc. So 34 totally fooled me. I didn't expect Anastasia and Julius and much less Hallibel to come into Vollachia, but 33 is just unnecessary. Like, come on guys, I know that the vast majority of the readership of Rezero are web novel readers, so they know what's going to happen, but can we at least pretend to cater towards light novel readers? You know, the ones that actually buy the books and inject money into the industry. Oh well, but yeah. Volume 33 is in B. Okay, so let's move on to Volume 34, and we are now in Arc 8, Vincent Vollachia. I think this was later renamed to The Grand Disaster, which I think is a much better name, by the way. I hate Vincent Vollachia as an arc name. It's so goofy. It has no precedent. Why would we name an arc the name of a character? And the name doesn't even make that much sense, by the way. I think The Grand Disaster is a much better name. And yeah, whatever. Sidetracks aside, this volume was also very good. If you guys saw my reviews, then you guys know I was ecstatic about this volume. The entire confrontation with Todd, sort of like those two could not get together no matter what, even if their objectives align for a temporary moment, their values are just vastly too different. We also had the fake out with Todd's backstory, which I love. I usually hate this type of meta writing, the sort of I think Deadpool is like the only fictional character that does this well because it's sort of one of the first ones or whatever. But this sort of winking at the audience and doing this sort of meta writing, I think when overdone can be very cringy and it's just lame and it's just a sort of crutch for bad writing, if you guys understand what I'm saying here. But I think by doing it very sporadically and very strategically like it was done here with Todd, I think that was super good. So I loved the Todd chapter. It was hilarious. The fact that it was only one page, I loved it. Super funny. Everything with Todd was incredibly good. The escape with Emilia and Ram was also pretty fun, but I think this volume really is carried by two moments, two confrontations. The psychological and physical confrontation between Todd and Subaru, and then just the stunning Vincent crash out. The confrontation between Subaru and Vincent, where these two guys just realize they're sort of friends, even if they won't begrudgingly admit it. This was just peak to me. And once again, is it top 3 though? Is it top 3? Let's take a look at the list. I don't think, realistically speaking, that I can put this one in top 3 because Arc 9 is yet to come. But I have to put it into top 7. I just love it so much. I think the Todd confrontation, the Vincent confrontation is just, everything is so good. I just think it's a deserved top 7. It's a deserved top 7. Once again, I'm being super stingy with top 3 because we have Arc 9 yet to come. But it's just very good. Very good. And oh wow, we have 39 concurrent viewers. That's insane. Thank you so much guys for watching. I don't know if half of those are bots, but either way, guys, bots, if you're watching this, whenever the AI revolution comes, be sure to remember me. I said good things about you, okay? Whenever you enslave humanity, be sure to remember me and give me a bit more of gruel than the other people you will enslave. This got super dark all of a sudden. Let's just read the comments here. Talking about best arc without mentioning arc 4. What the hell is in D tier? I don't know if you guys are trolling me or not. Yeah, regarding arc 4, JB, arc 4 to me, keep in mind also I watched both the anime and read the light novel version. I think arc 4, and I know a lot of you guys disagree with me, I think arc 4 is overrated by the community. And I will explain why. I think that it's sort of like a less pronounced version of the problem that is in arc 7, where we have a lot of peak moments, very, very good moments, but I think as a whole, the arc is needlessly convoluted. The Apostles of Greed, the whole thing with the Sanctuary, the coming back and forth, the stupid teleportation gems, I think arc 4 does way too much, whereas if it were simpler, I think it would have been much, much better. I love the climax of arc 4, I love the moments with Beatrice, the confrontation between Ram and Roswaal, I love all of that, and even the witches are pretty cool, but I think arc 4 just has too many things and just, I don't know, it's just, I think it's just too convoluted for me to find it one of the best arcs in ReZero. Once again, I will say this, some of you guys that have watched my videos for a long time, you guys know this, but for those who don't, I like arc 3 more than I like arc 4. I know it's controversial, but it's my opinion. Up next, I'm very behind on the chat. Blah, blah, waking up surrounded by all his friends. Yeah, Setoi, thank you for coming. Yeah, I agree with you. I think the moment where Subaru wakes up, and is there an image for that? Yeah, it's this one. I just think this moment is so wholesome. Like, Volume 34 is very, very good. And once again, I'm not just... the only reason it doesn't go into S tier is because Arc 9 is yet to come, and I only have 2 spots left. But I love that. What the hell is in D tier? Once again, Speedo, I don't know if you are trolling me, but I do have more concurrent viewers now than when I started the stream, so I'm going to explain it hopefully for the last time. This was originally supposed to be a list where I ranked all of the books that I read in 2025, which is pretty much just ReZero and one single volume from Overlord, which is the worst one in the series. That's why it's in D tier. It's an Overlord volume. And Overlord is a cool series, okay, guys? This volume is not representative of the series as a whole. Okay. Costas, I am a bot. OZWS, oh my god, you're a bot. Yeah, guys, bots. Costas, whenever you take over the world, please remember me. Please feed me more gruel than the other human slaves, okay? Please. I love it being convoluted. Yeah, once again, Arc 4, I understand what the author is trying to do, and part of its charm is the fact that it's convoluted. It's the fact that Subaru is fighting a war on 2 fronts, he's trying to save the mansion and the sanctuary at the same time, and that's why ultimately he learns that he can't do everything by himself, and he learns to rely on his friends. That's why the moment with Otto is so beautiful. And also, it's an arc where we do a lot of past exposition. We have a lot of flashbacks, either from Subaru is not really a flashback, but from Emilia, from Garfield. And so it tries to do a lot, and I understand what the author is trying to do. At the same time, I think he added way too much stuff that probably wasn't needed, or just sort of in some way detracted from my enjoyment of it. I don't know. To me, Arc 3 is more streamlined. I enjoy it more, even though I will concede that yeah, sure, I will concede this point. I think the climaxes of Arc 4 are better than Arc 3, but I think Arc 3 as a whole is more consistent and it's better. That's what I will say about that. What series is this in D tier? I agree. 3. Oh, okay. Speedo agrees. That's respectable. I rarely see fans agreeing with me that 3 is better than 4. Arc 7 is better than 4, or did I miss here? Arc 7 is better than 4. Huh. I might have said that for the spiciness. I will say they are roughly the same. The thing is, Arc 7, let's just take a look at the list, for example. Arc 7 has Volume 31, has Gladiator Island, it has Todd, it has so many moments that I love, but I will say that Arc 7 is less consistent than Arc 4. I don't know, I would have to think about it, because it's the thing of do you value a moment that you love more as a sort of, do you value peak love or consistent love? This is sort of a weird question, but it sort of really puts into perspective what people do when they make these tier lists. Do you value an arc that is more consistent throughout? Or do you value more an arc that has better peaks but lower lows? And that is ultimately what the question comes down to. In my opinion, Arc 7's highs were higher than Arc 4, but Arc 4 was more consistent throughout. And the same thing can be said for Arc 3. I think Arc 3 was more consistent throughout, but its highs were less high than Arcs 4 and 7. You guys are making me do these tongue twisters. I'm confusing myself. Look at Speaker. My doggo is so cute. What's up, Seagrain? Would you say Season 2 is better than the Arc 4 LN? That is... I think... To me, I think a lot of fans were overly harsh on the character designs and on the production issues that the anime had. I did enjoy the anime tremendously. I did think certain things like, for example, the Elsa versus Garfield fight in the anime is just awe-inducing. I love the moments, the intensity, the sheer brutality, the coloring on that fight, the moments where they bite each other. It's just, oh my goodness, this is so good. At the same time, I think that reading the light novel helped me understand Arc 4 better, if that makes sense. I think there is a level of information and context and awareness that you sort of lose by taking away the written prose and the narration and the monologues. I think it's hard to overcome that in the anime. I think for convoluted arcs, I think they are better explained in the light novel, but they are more climactic and more entertaining in the anime. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. Lizard Subaru still haunts me. WN Arc 4, LN Arc 4. I mean, I'll be honest, Costas, a lot of people say that. I just don't have the time to go back in time and read the web novel for Arc 4, especially because a lot of people say this, but if we are being honest, the light novel is the finished version. So the web novel is sort of the first draft, so I always prefer to refer to the light novel version instead of the web novel one, because the light novel one is sort of the finished one. One thing I will say, and this is totally fair, for people who say that even if it is not the finished version, they prefer to read the fan translation or the Witch Cult translation, then they prefer to read the Yan Press translation for obvious reasons. And I totally respect that and I understand that, and that's totally fair by me. Also, by the way, since we're all speaking of Overlord, what is that in D tier? I will say, Rezero fans like to complain a lot about the Yan Press, and they complain, they are justified in their complaining, but I will say Overlord fans are 1000% more justified when complaining about the Yan Press. And let me just see if I have time for this. I think so. Let me just get into a very quick sidetrack here. Overlord Volume 8. Overlord Volume 8. Let me just show you some of what Yan Press did, okay? Just so you guys see how badly Yan Press mistreats Overlord. So Overlord, this volume, Volume 8, is sort of more of a side story volume, and it has a moment where the characters go into a bath scene. You have the male bath scene, and then you have the female bath scene. I don't know if I can show this on YouTube. I'll just click away from it right now. But the female bath scene was censored in the Yan Press version. It is not there. They just removed it for no reason at all. Even though the books, I'm pretty sure, are 16 plus or 18 plus or whatever, but they literally took something that the author and the illustrator put time and effort into just for the sake of censorship. They put in the male bath scene and they took out the female one for no reason. And then, if that's not enough, there is these character pages where you have sort of information about characters and whatnot. It adds more context into them. And let me just show you, this is what it looks like in the Japanese version, okay? Let me show you what it looks like in the English Yan Press translation. Hold on. I hope you guys didn't see my ass there, but you know, if you guys saw it, then be sure to donate for the treat. Let me just find it. Where is it? Okay. I'll try to put this on the camera. So if what you guys are seeing on screen, this is bright red on dark red to make it sound more edgy and evil and whatnot. That's fine. The Yen Press version did dark red on black, okay? You may be wondering that you can't read anything. Guys, I can't read anything either, and I have the book in front of me. You cannot read this. I have no idea why they took liberties with the colors, because this is unreadable. This is garbage. Why did they do this? Whose decision was this? They should be fired. You cannot read this. Whose idea was it to put dark red on a black background? This is insane. Just a sort of mild crash out I wanted to have, okay? We are going back to our we are going back to our scheduled program now, okay? Back to Rezero. But yeah, when Rezero fans say that Yen Press mistreats their series, I just want to let you know that Overlord has it even worse. Now, where were we? Volume 34. I have rated Volume 34, so let's go into 35 because I still have a lot of volumes to cover and I have up until 6 p.m. So let's do it. Volume 35. This was the volume where we started really interacting with the Great Disaster. I think the highlights of this volume were probably the emotional scene with Rem. I think that was a big highlight, definitely. You had the introduction of Hallibel and just how crazy, stupidly busted he is. I think he's a very sort of rule of cool character. I think he's much more suave than Ceci. They are both crazy in their own ways, but I think Hallibel is a lot more manageable. I think you also had the introduction that Sphinx can also RBD. For the first time, Subaru is fighting somebody who can also RBD, and that is very fascinating, even though hers obviously works differently. We had the introduction of the clone zombies, which, being totally honest, I have mixed feelings about. I don't want to get into a whole side rant here, but it was threatening either way. And we had the introduction of Spica's just, I don't know, zombie gluttony thingy, where she doesn't eat the soul, she eats the connection to the earth or whatever she does. I wish her well. And it also had Priscilla tied up, which I know some of you guys enjoyed for your own personal reasons. I'm wishing you well as well. I'm wishing you well in your gooning sessions. So, yeah, this volume wasn't the most eventful. It was good. Once again, if I had to put it in a top, I don't think it goes much higher than top 16. And I'm actually thinking of maybe what I'll do is this. I'll put volume 35 in top 16, and I'm going to bump volume 26 to top 12. I think this is fair. Even though I just hit my chair. I hope you guys didn't hear that. Even though I think that volume 26 does have those problems in the web novel, I still think it's a very good volume. It has some great moments. And yeah, I think this is fine for now. Let's keep doing it. Let's just check out the chat. Not a fan of Emilia Camp doing politics, but it's probably my least favorite arcade volume. I mean, yeah, that's totally fine. Probably Tape wanted to make Arc 4 more suitable for anime season 2, so he was pressed to rewrite most of the stuff. I mean, yeah, I think that's probably what happened as well. I think even then the finished product was not the super anime only friendly, if I'm being honest. Like, I love ReZero, but I have friends who sort of watch ReZero casually, if that is even a thing you can do. And I had some friends which told me that they watched ReZero season 2, and they told me, I mean, I liked a lot of moments, but I was always confused and I never knew what was going on. Which I think for somebody who's watching casually, and once again, I know a lot of you guys like to say, oh, the normies, man, get them out, gatekeep them. But at the end of the day, I think all fan bases to be a healthy fan base and for the series to have a healthy, just, you know, number of people watching it where the series can still sell and produce more content, you need a healthy number of normies, and then you have the hardcore fans. And I think the hardcore fans, that's fine. They will always, you know, be more appreciative of stuff. But at some point, you also need to appeal a bit to the normies. And I think season 2 may be a bit too convoluted for a lot of people. That's all I'll say. Where is the Rowan slander? Inko, you just reminded me. How could I possibly not slander Rowan? At the time, I only knew Rowan as a bum jobber who was just one shot by Todd. Todd, who isn't, listen, I love Todd, but Todd is not the strongest character in the series. So Rowan was already a bum by this point, but I didn't hate him enough yet because I didn't know what he did to Ceci's brothers and sisters and how bad of a father he was and how delusional he was, thinking he could one day overcome his much more talented son, and just how overall a piece of crap he was and how a coward he was by just quitting against Yorna and one-shotting himself to become a zombie. Bum behavior. Just every single day is Rowan Slander Day. I will always be here to slander Rowan because he's a bum. A useless, reprehensible, irredeemable bum. I freaking love Rowan. He is such a piece of trash. Well, Setoe, I think that you love him and I hate him for the exact same reasons. And I think that's beautiful. That is the beauty of different opinions. Okay, now let's go into volume 36. What happened in this volume? Let's remind ourselves. Oh, this was the... Oh, right. Huh. How am I going to rate this? This is actually interesting. Because this was the Al and Ceci's adventures at the capital where they were still by themselves. We had a bit too much of Rowan for my taste because he's a bum. Now that I'm thinking about it. Do you guys, how do I make a poll? No, but I probably shouldn't make a poll because then I'll have to make a poll for every single volume. Do you guys enjoy 36 more or 35 more? I'm actually, I think, the scenes with Al and Ceci were very compelling. I really liked the dynamic between the two, and I especially enjoyed the jump scare where we were about to get hard stuck on Al just being constantly reset by Ceci infinitely, because no matter how many times Al resets, he would never be able to beat Ceci. So he would probably activate aggressor mode at that point, which we now is a possibility. We now know that's a possibility, but at the time I hadn't read the side story, so I didn't know about aggressor mode. You guys are saying 36, 36, 36. Yeah, I actually think so too. Yeah, only Setoe is saying 35. Slightly Crazy also says 36, but he's slightly crazy, so we might not want to take his opinion. Just kidding. Yeah, I think, to me, I also think I enjoy 36 more than 35. So I think I'll put it in top 12. Let's put it in top 12 for now, and let's see where we end up. Once again, I think this will have a lot of reshuffling once we get to Arc 9, because Arc 9 will just clog up the top and I'll have to just slide everything to the bottom, but let's see. Okay, let's go into 37. This is, by the way, this is one of the... Let's get the clean image. This is one of the best covers in the entire series, by the way. I'm not entirely sure about the sort of knockoff big brand that we have here in the background, but Priscilla, my goodness. And the next cover is one of the best in the series as well. This was an epic series of covers. The Priscilla one is just, so good. Volume 37 was pretty much the Unga Bunga Let's All Fight volume. We had the Tanza fight, we had the Hallibell fight, the Roswell fight. Roswell is such a cheating piece of garbage, by the way. I love him so much. We had the Garfield fight. We have, by the way, this illustration from Arakia, her getting possessed by Moosepell, just her skin just being torn apart by the crystals. This is once again one of Otsuka's best works. I think that he has a lot of his own quirks and a lot of his own, how do I say it? He has things that he often defaults to whenever I think he isn't quite sure what to do, but sometimes he steps out of his comfort zone and he brings out some banger artworks. I love this one. This one is just so good. This is also one of my favorites in the entire series, and I'm not even a super big fan of Arakia, if I'm being honest. We also had the Ceci fight. Yeah, this was... Oh, and we had obviously the moment with Subaru and the gang versus Sphinx. Yeah, this was very much an Unga Bunga type volume, just fight, but I quite enjoyed this one. I would even argue that maybe this one is sort of better than 36, because this one just sort of climaxes the things that were built up in volume 36, a lot of it. It's just, stay on the Arakia pick, please. I think you'll have to do that at your own time, Costas. I think you'll have to do that at your own time. Oh, really? Really, Speedo? Hold up. Oh, wow, you're right. I never noticed this. What the hell? That's super cool. That's a super cool detail. Her dress, I don't know if you guys can see this on the share screen, on the live stream, but you can actually see it a lot here, but her dress more here, it's a bit see-through. Once again, oh, her leg as well. Yeah, then it's not a dress. It's her leg as well. Yeah. Wow, this was a spoiler hidden in plain sight. That is so cool. My mind was just blown. I never noticed this. Wow, that is such a cool detail. If I ever make a cover tier list, 37 is on peak tier for sure. This cover is great. The only cover that I'm thinking off the top of my head it's better than this one, it's the next one. 38 is even better. Yeah, but this cover is super great. Okay, so 37, I'm thinking we have some volumes to go. I will try, I will attempt to put 37 in top 7. I think it's going down whenever we follow up on the list, but let's try to put it at top 7 for now, and we'll see from there. So now let's go into volume 38, which, if I'm not mistaken, was the last one from arc 8, right? Yeah, it was the last one. Okay. So, volume 38. First of all, once again, just speaking of the cover, this is arguably the best cover in Rezero. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but this is arguably the best cover in Rezero. I love it so much. The contrast between Priscilla and Al. Al's just the star in the eye. It's just the fire. Everything is just so good. This cover is actually just... let me just open a new browser here. Volume... what was it? Volume... What was it? It was 19. Volume 19. Why can't I spell today? This cover for me is like a much better version than Volume 19's. It's just a straight up 100,000% upgrade because you have still the same sort of theme with fire and whatnot, but this one is super well orchestrated, and the coloring and the meshing of the characters and the connection between them. This one is super clear that Otsuka drew a Priscilla cover, and then someone, or either they told him you have to add Liliana, or he just forgot, and he added just Liliana stock footage on top of the Priscilla cover. You can clearly see, even from the lighting, that Liliana does not belong in this cover. This is just a PNG image that was added on top of it. I hate this cover so much. It's so goofy. It's just, I don't know, it's just poorly made. But a 38 is just a straight up upgrade. Regardless, volume 38. This volume was, oh my god, I only have 3 spots in peak. Okay, so let's be honest about this volume. I think it had... Priscilla's descent introduction was tremendous. I think the fight with all of the Vollachian siblings, family tree, this was a bit contrived. This was a bit forced, if I'm being honest. But it was at the same time very cool. I just think this volume had a lot of things happening once again. It almost made a sort of... It tried to throw a lot of cool stuff at you. I would have preferred if it focused on a few things. It also had the moment with Rowan, who is a reprehensible garbage human being. But I think his moment of him just having his soul ablaze and at the same time still wanting to fight his son, that was pretty cool. But this isn't me saying it, okay? This is not a live stream. This is a deep fake, okay? This isn't me saying. I would never, ever say something good about Rowan, that piece of garbage, that bum. But this is pretty cool. This is not me saying it. It's a deep fake saying it. And the moment with Ceci, once again, the reunion between Balroy and Medium, also super cool. The reunion between Subaru growing big again, growing big by seeing Emilia, not in the way that you're thinking, but literally growing big, as in his body grew big, not what you're thinking of. And obviously, the last chapter in Arc 8, which is arguably one of the best chapters in the entirety of ReZero. I have a very hard time ranking this volume, because I will be honest, I think the climax, the ending of this chapter was just perfection itself. But it also had a lot of moments which were either contrived or unnecessary, or just it carried a lot of the baggage of Arc 8 to finish all of these plot threads. I said this many times before, I don't think Sphinx is a good villain. Not good in the sense that she's bad, but I don't think Sphinx is a main story worthy main villain, if that makes sense. So if it was a chapter, if it was a single chapter I would put it in S, but oh man, I only have 3 spots in S. I have to put this in top 7. I'm sorry, guys. I have to put this in top 7. This is getting so hard actually now towards the end. This is getting so hard. I shouldn't have done it would have been so much easier for me if I didn't do the sort of normal distribution gimmick, but now I'm doing it. I'm going to stick with it. Either way, let's see what you guys have to say. 38 has peak moments, but honestly, the capital fight should have ended with 37. Yeah, I think the entirety of Vollachia would have done better with less volumes. I totally agree with that. Volume 19 is probably one of my least favorite covers. Not because of the Liliana, but because the background is reused from some other illustration. I mean, I think, sure, that's fine. It is probably reused. If you're, I know that Otska reuses a lot of assets. I personally think that Liliana's inclusion is super goofy. That's sort of the main reason why I don't like it. But yeah, I don't think this cover is super strong at all. Even though Priscilla does look cool. Once again, Priscilla always looks super cool with the fire in the background. I love the web novel chapter Heroic Reveries with Al taking Subaru's hand, for example. Yeah, that was super good. That was super good. Yeah, it kind of drags and doesn't stop. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think once again, top 3 chapter for sure. Yeah, I agree. I think the Priscilla chapter is a top 3 chapter in the entire series. The volume it's in, however, I don't think is a top 3 volume in the entire series, if that makes sense. So yeah, 100% agree. Sphinx was always just there. Yeah. And Inko, I sort of agree with you. I think if 38 is in top 7, then 37 should be below it. I think this is definitely, I'm not sure if I'm going to order them because that's just going to be even more convoluted, but I think 38 is definitely the best volume in this entire tier. Actually, these ones are also pretty good. I don't know. Let's just demote this one. 37 is demoted. Let's put it down. Now, let's see where we go from here. Okay, now let's jump into Arc 9, my favorite arc, which you guys know if you watch my videos. I've made no attempts at disguising that. I know the ending is controversial. I know a lot of people were very, very pissed off that the ending just sort of reset everything, and I understand that. But at the same time, when I was talking previously about do you value the peaks more or do you value consistency more? And to me, both in terms of peaks and consistency, I think Arc 9 is the most consistent arc in terms of writing. And I just loved it reading so much. I just love reading it so much throughout. And I think if anything, it proves to me that the next few arcs will be even better, because now that we have taken care of the Vollachia side tour, I sure hope that we don't go into Kararagi or Gusteku in another side tour, but now that we have taken care of the side quests, once we get back to Tape's original plan, the writing, when we add the original structure and the original plan of his writing with the skill that he has gained from being just a prolific writer and writing so much over the years, I think we get pure peak. I love Arc 9, but at the same time, once ReZero ends, I know Arc 9 will not be my favorite arc because I know the best is yet to come. So, the first volume of Arc 9 is once again a hard volume for me to rate because it has, unfortunately, the aftermath of Vollachia. I would have preferred a clean split where we sort of just handle Vollachia in Arc 8, in Arc 7, and it's done, and we get to start Arc 9 right away in Lugunica. I think that would have been much, much better. So we have the aftermath of Arc 9. We have Flop. There is no illustration for that, but we have Flop being an absolute player, just plowing through those chicks. My goodness, Flop is a player. I can't believe Flop got Tarita. That is crazy. The man deserves an award. Either way. Then we have the sort of more... We also have Todd's closure, which I appreciated. I think it was cool, personally. Then we have the more slice of life-y, more setup elements where we're setting up the tower and what's happening. We introduce Clint to the main story. And then we have, once this moment happens, is when Arc 9 starts cooking, and after this moment, it's just boom, 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 just pure peak, one after the other. The arc never lets up until the very end. It is just, it grabbed me by the balls, and it squeezed them very hard. This metaphor is very good. It sounds like something painful, but when I'm trying to express something pleasurable. But hopefully you guys got my metaphor. Either way. I think being realistic, especially because I only have so many spots up top, I have to put this one in top 7. Let's see how it progresses. I have to put this in top 7. It can't be in top 3 because the other Arc 9 volumes are just better. So I think it's an easy top 7, and let's see where it goes from here. Yeah, second half of this volume was incredible. I did dislike the ending of Arc 9, but now I'm good with it. Yeah, Sia, I think that a lot of people were just sort of like knee-jerk reacting at the time it happened. And then I think people now have grown to accept it more. I think it's definitely Arc 9 is one arc that, in my opinion, will age better with retrospect. I think people were just too emotional on the day as things were happening. It was especially sad for me because Arc 9 ended on the day that I was posting my review of the Petra chapter, and I was just so happy and so ecstatic and just overall giddy with Arc 9, and everybody on the Twitter timeline was just hating on it and hating on it. And I was like, guys, please stop, this is so good. But yeah, it was good for sure. Okay, let me get that out real quick. The Kaya interlude is the worst chapter in the entire series. I hate it so much. Okay, sure. I mean, I can see it. Honestly, I can see it if you hate that. Personally, I still enjoy it because of the Todd element to it. I don't particularly care for Kaya. I like Todd more as a character, so I enjoy it more because of that. I will say though, and I don't think this is controversial, Palladio is the worst villain in the entire series. He is so bad. He is pure garbage, just a jobber, just a bum, just nobody cares about him. There isn't even an illustration of him yet, and honestly, I think it's funnier if we just never have an illustration for Palladio. Even in the anime, if they adapt Vollachia, they should never show Palladio on screen. He should never be on screen. It's just a voice talking in the ether. He should never even be seen. He's just that much of a jobber. He doesn't deserve the image. Reading all the Omega side stories, I kind of want a Gusteco side tour. The place is too interesting and underexplored and feels like a worse place to live than Vollachia. Wow! If it's it's the birthplace of Elsa, right? So it doesn't seem like a good place to live, definitely. I will say, JB, I don't mind if Tape goes into Gusteco, but I think that he definitely should just calm down with the main story additions for a while. I don't mind the side story. I don't mind an X volume. I don't even mind a sort of epilogue with perhaps even focusing on some other character after Rezero ends. But I think the side tour with Vollachia was too much and too long. And I said this in my previous live stream. I am scared to death of what's going to happen with the adaptation of the Rezero anime, because I think Vollachia is, number one, too big to adapt. The light novel sales aren't good, which I know light novel sales the numbers are a bit of a meme for a variety of reasons, but I don't know if people will want to adapt the least popular and longest arc in the series. I think that's a combo that's very nasty, and I think producers will be very hesitant to touch it, or if they do touch it, I think that they may go under certain budget cuts. And I don't know if we will have a situation that is as tragic as One Punch Man Season 3, but I am very, very scared of what's going to happen with Vollachia, if it's ever going to get adapted, and if it does get adapted, then who picks it up, and if it picks it up with, an actual heart and a desire to make it good, because it can be rough. It can be very rough. That's all I'm going to say. It kind of may... Yeah, I forgot about Palladio existing. Who's Palladio again? I'm not even going to tell you who's Palladio. The fact you don't remember it is even better. Don't even try to remember it. Don't go to the wiki, just forget he exists. Forget the word that was even mentioned. It's much better. It's much better if you don't know who he is. It makes it funnier. It kind of makes the Katya-Todd relationship sound like something positive, which bothers me. Emotional abuse covered up as a nice thing. I mean, I can see the argument. It's a thing of bad guys finish first, in the sense that Todd was arguably undeserving and he got a happy ending. Once again, it's sort of like a twisted thing. Perhaps this is the romantic, naive part of me speaking, but I think there was, underneath all the trauma and manipulation and just overall paranoia, I think there was a bit of genuine love for each other. I think Katya genuinely loves Todd, and I think Todd perhaps may feel feelings that exist in his cold black heart for Katya. Maybe it's just me being naive. Maybe it's just my headcanon. But I would like to believe that their relationship isn't a toxic thing to one another. I can understand from a reader's perspective, from a narrative standpoint, this villainous character that did so many bad things, for him to get a happy ending, that can be a bit of a narrative slap in the face to the reader. But from their character standpoint, I don't think it's a mismatch. And also, if we are being totally honest, from Todd's perspective, a lot of the things that he did that we saw didn't actually happen because it was mostly reset. So there's that as well. Either way, the guy ran away from the Shinobi village. Let him have a happy ending. His childhood was miserable. Leave him alone. Leave Todd alone, man. Arc 8 has so many bums. I mean, I can't really argue with that. I can't really argue with that slightly crazy. I think that is a slightly sane take. That is a very sane take. Let's see here. Katya deserves way better than Todd. I mean, I can also see, once again, I can see our guys' perspective. I don't feel that super strongly about it. Me personally, I enjoyed it, but I can see what you guys are saying. Honestly, Arc 7 would probably benefit from some cuts. The arc is bloated. Scott King, I totally agree with you. And I think it's this very strange phenomenon where if they ever adapt Arc 7 and 8, if they ever adapt Vollachia, and it is overseen by Tape, given his blessing, and they do some cuts, I don't even think it would necessarily be a bad thing. I can see the exact same people that are novel readers that say that Vollachia sucks. I can see them being the exact same people that are complaining that they did cuts in the anime. But at the same time, I think Vollachia would probably benefit from some cuts. I don't think that's unrealistic. I think it would probably help the arc and help with some of the bloat that it has. Arc 7 feels like it will age better with good anime adaptation. At the end of Arc 7, fights, for example, take way less time in a novel format. Yeah, but once again, JB, that is my fear. I have a lot of concerns regarding how Vollachia is going to be adapted and by who it's going to be adapted. I am very, very hesitant with that. Katya got that special treatment from Todd for real. Hey, Chuki, I don't know what you mean by special treatment, but yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I don't know what you mean by special treatment. I think I know what you mean, but I'm not going to say it. I would get censored on YouTube. Arc 7 and 8 would get the hardest buff from getting animated and streamlined from an anime adaptation. I completely agree with that. I think Vollachia, the adaptation, I think it's really a coin flip, and we just have to pray for the best. The Vollachia anime adaptation will either be so butchered that it will be complete ass and it will probably destroy a lot of people's love for ReZero, or it will make Vollachia age even better, and it will make Vollachia better, more streamlined, shorter, just straight to the point. The fights will really grab in the viewers because, let's be honest, fights in anime and animation are always, I say this, not always, but almost always better than just on written word. It's one thing to imagine something, it's another thing to see it on the screen with soundtrack, with voice acting, with the impactful animation. I think it's totally a coin flip. Vollachia, the anime, will either be a complete disaster, the great disaster, literally speaking, or it will be very, very good, no in between. Let's hope for the best. Cuts are healthy for anime as long as you're smart with it. Yeah, I totally agree with that as well. Has to be trimmed a lot. Could be like a One Piece arc or something, a Grand Empire Conquest. Yeah, I totally agree. I'm very hopeful for what they're doing with One Piece. I hope that they do a good job at just shortening it and making One Piece palatable for new viewers. Because the thing is, One Piece, I'm going to call out the One Piece community right now. The hardest thing for a Zoomer One Piece fan to do is to actually watch One Piece. I know for a fact, a lot of the people that say they're One Piece fans, you guys, you did not watch the 1000 something episodes, okay? I've been there. I've been in the trenches. I watched the fillers. I watched the episodes as they were coming out. I've been through the trenches of the slop, okay? Some of you guys, I just know you haven't watched it. And honestly, it's a criticism that applies to a lot of communities. Let's be honest. ReZero fans, a lot of them, the hardest thing for ReZero fans to do is to read the novels. A lot of them read summaries. They consume Rezero through TikTok. Oh my goodness, that triggers so much the heck out of me. But yeah, let's not call out too many people before they come for me with the pitchforks. Now, we've been getting sidetracked for way too long. Guys, let's advance to volume 40. What time is it? Oh my goodness, it's getting way too late. Okay, volume 40. A Light of a Nameless Star. Yeah, this was pretty much the volume where we had Schizo Petra introducing herself to Subaru's memories, and then we had obviously the fight against the Feldcamp. This volume was once again... Oh, and was Roy freed in this volume as well? Huh, okay, yeah, Roy was freed at the end of this volume. Okay, good to know. So, this volume, I don't think it is peak tier. I don't think it's the best one in Arc 9, but I love the heck out of this volume. And some of you guys told me to read the side stories because I wouldn't be able to enjoy this volume without them. I totally disagree. I don't know who any of these little bros are, but I still enjoyed the heck out of this. I think this volume was just non-stop peak action. We had, obviously we had the Reinhardt fight. How could I forget this? Just Reinhardt versus Al versus the Feldcamp, the Petra moments. This was just unbelievable. So this volume it's volume 40 is the one with Yaya on the cover, will tentatively go to a tier, which means we have to demote something. Oh no. Oh, this is when the hard part comes. No, we have to demote something. What volume was the Madeline one? Hold up. Let's open this in a new browser. Which volume was the Madeline one? God damn it. I should have put the numbers. I didn't have time to put the numbers. The Madeline one was... What was it? Was it the Todd one? 31. Good God. Was it 29? Yeah, 29. So this one was the... Oh, no. I can't demote volume 29. No. 29 stays. 29 stays. Oh boy. Oh no. Oh no. What do I demote here? Guys, I'll be honest. I'm between either demoting the Todd volume, this one, or demoting the last one of Arc 8. No, maybe... No. No. I think we'll do this. We will demote 39. I think so. I think even though the last few chapters of 39 were very good, a lot of it was also just slice of life and the aftermath of Vollachia and whatnot. I just think the Chaos Flame one was just amazing. I love the Subaru versus Olbart so much. Also, this volume had Subaru versus Todd and Subaru versus Vincent. And this one was the last volume of Arc 8, which had the Priscilla moment. Realistically speaking, I have to demote 39, guys. 39 has to go. It's in the top 12 now. Blasphemous. I'm sorry, Chuki. I'm sorry. It has to be done. And now, hold up. And now that I have demoted 39, now I have to demote one from top 12. Which means I think volume 26 goes back down to top 16. It was there to begin with. Yeah, I think the list is starting to make shape now. Okay. Some part of Dio just died. Yes, it's true. It's brutal. Some part of me just died. But I think the list is much more interesting if I do this sort of normal distribution than if I just dumped everything into peak. It would be a pretty boring video. Come on, guys. So let's just do this like this. Oh, you hear this as audiobooks. That's pretty cool. I mean, if you drive a lot, then it definitely makes sense. This volume solidified my love for Arc 9. Yeah, I totally agree. Other than Clint, the side story characters were introduced really smoothly. Totally. Big Exist, I totally agree with that. I think some fans were really worried and making a big deal about reading the side stories. I think Tape did an excellent job at introducing, even Clint, in my opinion. I think he did a pretty good job at introducing all of the side story characters and also at explaining Al's ability, because a lot of people sort of already knew how Al's ability worked from the side stories, but I think he did an excellent job at explaining how it worked in the main story as well. So volume 26 in C is crazy. Yeah, I know it's crazy, but I have to demote some, right? And guys, there are 3 volumes left, which means I will have to demote more if you guys are keeping up with the math. So let's go on with the bloodbath. Volume 41 now. Volume 41. This volume was the one where we had the Yae versus Wilhelm. We had Emilia versus Al with Roy just sort of hanging about. We had the Grand Betrayal of Heinkel. We had Rem's comeback. We had Otto's just massive carry of the Emilia camp. And we had Clean's reveal. And we had also Petra interacting with Rem and all that, which, whatever. We also had Sylphie introduced to the story again. For those who care about Sylphie, I don't really care about Sylphie, but, you know, I hope you guys enjoyed Sylphie, whatever. Oh man, no. No. I can put them all into peak tier. I will put this one tentatively into top 3, but I don't think it's a top 3, guys. I don't think it's a top 3, I'll be honest. Let's see how it pans out. Let's move on to volume 42. Let's not think too much about it. And let's prepare for the bloodbath. Okay, volume 42. We had the epic fight against Volcanica. We had the epic fight of Ram. Is this the one where Ram fights... No, this isn't Ram and Emilia versus Yae yet. That's the next one. But this is the Volcanica fight. This is the Petra fight. Oh man. No, this is so hard, actually. This is so hard. Volume 42 also goes into peak tier, which now means we are left with volume 43, and we will have to demote something. Volume 43, we had the amazing aerial battle of Emilia, Rem, Yae, and Al. We had the Petra chapter. Oh my goodness, one of the best chapters in the entire series. We had, oh my goodness, the Witch of Melancholy. We had the ending, which I know a lot of you guys don't like, but this is peak cinema, guys. Come on. This is old Shamak. Just look at the sadness in Subaru's face. This is peak cinema. And Petra losing everything. And the backstory of Al. It has to be done. It has to be done. What do I demote now? What do I demote now? Let's review again. Okay, 43. Okay, so 43 and the Gladiator Island volume stay for sure. I'm demoting one of these two. So I'm demoting either 42, once again. No, it has to be 41. It has to be 41. Has it though? It's so hard. I'm going, you know, just like you have in those contests, I'm going to call for the audience for help. I'm going to call for the audience for help. We are either going to demote 41, which is the Royal Capital fight, or 42, which is the fight in... Nah, man. No, I think everything with Petra was just better. Everything with Petra was just better. Petra just carried Arc 9. She and Al just carried Arc 9. Nah, it has to be this one. It has to be 41. It has to be just it's the cover with felt. It has to be 41. 41 is demoted. But now we get to another problem, which is we have reached the limit on tier A. So it means we must demote another one. What do we demote? I can down... Let's see what you guys are saying. Was mind... Yeah, Heinkel stabbing Wilhelm was mind-breaking. Totally agree. Rem's comeback was stinky. I can see where you're coming from, to be quite honest. But it was a shocking moment. I'll give you that. It was a shocking moment. Some of you, I can disagree with the execution. And I know most of you guys saw my review of Volume 41. I also thought that the execution... It lost me a little bit, and I think in retrospect it makes a lot of sense that the author completely reset that, because I wasn't quite seeing the vision where he was going with the Ram storyline, and I am still hesitant of where he is going with it, because I think, in my opinion, it would be more interesting if Rem grew more as a person before getting her memories back, and sort of had this sort of divergence between who she was and who she is. And I think that is a very juicy storyline that I think can be explored further. Wilhelm versus Yaya was awesome, but Heinkel had to ruin it by bum maxing. The thing is, Heinkel, in many ways, is a lovable bum, whereas Rowan is a hateable bum. It's a very big difference. Ezo coming in clutch, 42 lost me throughout, fight burnout, hit hard. I can see that, but I mean, the entire sequences with Petra and whatnot, and then the Volcanica fight, it's just too peak for me. I can downvote that volume for Rem's comeback. Okay, it's a looming setup. Yeah, the big exist, I completely agree. No six pack. Is it unpopular to dislike Petra outside of her named chapter? I mean, for me personally, I think Petra before Arc 9, I should say before Vollachia, was largely irrelevant. It's not so much that I disliked Petra, it's more that I just didn't care for Petra. I think Petra's existence was just to be a child for it to add more shock values to the bad loops that we had in Arc 3 and Arc 4. I think Petra existed purely for shock value. I didn't care much for her as a character. But in Vollachia, she started showing signs of promise. I greatly enjoyed how her character was handled in Vollachia. She's still very much a trainee, she's still new, she's still in training, she's still very much naive, but she's doing her best with the skills that she has, and I think that's very commendable. And I think Arc 9 is just off the races. Once Petra transitions from this sort of irrelevant tertiary character into the Witch of Melancholy, oh my goodness, that was one of the best character progressions I've ever seen. I was rooting for Petra so hard. She's just super peak. But I can totally understand now that everything about Arc 9 has been reset. I still think Petra will be relevant and it will have some good moments because I think her character is very proactive and she's a character that wants to get involved and do stuff, even if she's not the strongest or the smartest, which I think is very cool to watch. I love characters like that. But I don't think she will be super relevant moving forward, especially because one of the takeaways from Arc 9 is that the entirety of the Emilia camp are a bunch of hypocrites, because they always say that Subaru shouldn't push himself too hard, but we now see what happens when Subaru isn't around. If Subaru doesn't push himself too hard, everybody else pushes themselves too hard. Petra is a maniac, Rem is a maniac, Emilia is a maniac. Those ladies are just complete maniacs and they will just annihilate themselves if not for Subaru being there and taking the brunt of the sacrifice. So I think that's a big takeaway from Arc 9. And yeah, I just think Petra may not reach the heights she once reached in Arc 9. I think perhaps the peak of her character has already come and gone, but I think she will be relevant moving forward. If you say to me that let's say pre-Arc 7 you didn't care at all for Petra, I totally agree. I think the exact same thing. She was irrelevant to me, which, truth be told, she didn't do much either way. But yeah. Heinkel top 5 character. I disagree, slightly crazy, but I see where you're coming from, but I do not agree with that. If I had to make a top 5, I highly doubt that I would put Heinkel in there. I think the Roy fight went on for too long. I think that's... I kind of disagree because I was so engaged with it. I think there are fights that drag on for too long, but I think the Roy fight kept me engaged throughout, and it kept adding new flavors to it when the Black Serpent came in and the reveals from Petra with the sacrifices and all of the abilities. I think it was very engaging throughout, and even Heinkel's inclusion I think was fun. So I don't know. To me, it didn't drag, but I can see you thinking that because it did take a lot of chapters. I didn't like Arc 9 Petra until her named. Yeah, I already liked Petra before that. I think she's a very proactive character. I think she's fun. Vincent Vollachia, waiting for Rowan's redemption arc. I'm sorry, buddy. It's never coming. It is never coming. How can an irredeemable bum be redeemed? It just doesn't make any sense. That it's an oxymoron. It doesn't make sense to even say that. Top 5 characters. Number 1, Subaru. Okay. Number 2, Natsumi Schwartz. Okay. Number 3, Natsuki Subaru. I don't even know what that is. That must be from a side story. Number 4, Subaru Clone. And number 5, Schizo Subaru. My top 5 favorites. I totally agree, Big Exist. I think that is an excellent top 5. I don't know who Natsuki is. I don't know if that's a meme or something from a side story. But I would add maybe Shotabaru. Maybe you can add that in top 3 as well. And yeah, I think it's a lovely... Oh, it's Child Subaru. Oh, okay. Then yeah, I totally agree. What a lovely top 5. Lovely top 5 you have there. Totally agree with that. Either way... Dio, would you rather do a positive video about Rowan or Kaiju number 8? Here's the thing. I will once again say this. I don't dislike Kaiju number 8. I think it's good. My videos were positive. They just weren't raving reviews because I think Kaiju number 8 is some good mid. It's good. It's fun. It's fun mid. It's like, it's a B movie. It's something you enjoy. You put on the popcorn. You just have a good time. But it's not thought-provoking. Not particularly well animated. It doesn't do anything excellently. It's just good. It's just good. It's the perfect 6 to 7 out of 10. It's a 7 out of 10. That isn't bad. So if I had to do a positive video, I would much faster do one about Kaiju number 8 than Rowan, because unlike Kaiju number 8, Rowan has no positive features about him. There's nothing positive to say about Rowan. Okay, guys, now let's stop avoiding the topic at hand. We must demote one from A. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So we have, this is once again the, I can't demote this one. This is the Chaos Flame one. This is the Todd one. This is the, oh man. Oh man. I have to demote another one from Arc 9, I think. Either one from Arc 9 or the last. I mean, you can once again kind of consider that the last volume of Arc 8 as a whole, if we look at the volume as a whole, I did think it was kind of convoluted, even though it peaked super hard right at the end. The way to get there perhaps wasn't the best. I don't know. It's either volume 38 or volume 41. You know what? How do I do this? How do I make a poll? Do you guys know how I make a poll? Community moderation, participants, timestamps. No, how do I make a poll? I want to make a poll. Engage with your audience. Start a poll. This is it. Okay. Demote from tier A. So we're either going to demote volume 41 or we are going to demote 38 or 30. Let's say 38. Choose one. Start poll. I haven't watched it yet, but I have to play into the memes here. Top 0, Stairs, Subaru Monster. Man, the Stairs memes are so... Man, they're so goofy. Some of them make me laugh because of how stupid they are. But sometimes I go on Twitter and the entirety of Rezero discourse is just people ranking episodes and chapters and people just, I don't know, complaining about the adaptation and saying it's going to suck even before it comes out. And then just, oh, the monster, stairs. I don't know, guys. At some point, I just find it all super goofy. Switch to Twitch. Man, JB, let me tell you, it was already convoluted enough for me to set up the YouTube stream. I don't want to multi-stream, and let's be honest, at the peak, I think I had 40-something people watching. Currently, it's 35 concurrent viewers, which, by the way, super cool. I'm super thankful to everybody watching, but I don't think I have enough of an audience at this point to really sort of multi-stream, because I'll just fragment an already small audience into even smaller chunks. So... Volume 38 has won with 76% of the votes. Can I see how many votes this is? Or no? 17 votes. Okay, 76 to 24. I mean, okay. Volume 38, it goes down to tier B. Okay. And now this means we have 3, 4, 5. So now we must demote one from top 12. What are we going to demote from top 12? Honestly, definitely one of these three. Let me just once again remind myself. So it's either the... This is the Todd one. I think this is the one with Todd. And in my opinion, I thought that I really enjoyed the Todd section. I thought the cross-dressing section was a bit goofy. This is the last volume of Arc 7. This is the one where I have to once again remind myself what happens in this one. Hold up, guys. Let me just pick up this call. How do I mute myself? Hello? Are you guys seeing me? Hopefully so. And poll. Okay. We are back. Rezero Twitter is a special place. Yeah, I mean, it's a special place. For sure. Especially because you have this mix of people who are anime onlys, people who are hardcore light novel readers who have read everything, even the side stories, people who are more... I don't want to say casual, because reading 40 books is not casual at all, but people who, like me, are novel readers who only really read the main story light novels. And then you have people who have consumed Rezero entirely through TikToks and summaries and just reading the wiki. And it's this beautiful mess of chaos and just goofiness, and I don't know. Rezero Twitter is a special place. Being a Rezero fan is complaining more of a Rezero fan. It's true. You cannot be a true Rezero fan if you don't complain a lot. Also, what's this about stairs? Did I miss something? I mean, the meme is which volume is it? It's volume... It's probably volume 23. Probably. I'm just spitballing here. Yeah, it's Ben. I got it exactly right. So, volume 23 has this artwork where Subaru started going paranoid. Amnesiac Subaru started going paranoid because he didn't know who was after him, and he just decided to go after everybody instead. This was when he was at his most crazy. And so people edited this as a sort of preview of Arc 6, and then fans who have no context on Arc 6 thought this clip was super funny and just said that he was the aura monster, the stair monster, who is aura farming, going up the stairs. And that's how the stairs meme came to be. It's very, very stupid, but so is every single TikTok meme. And it's so goofy, like the 6-7, it doesn't even make sense. It's not funny, it's not witty, but I don't know. I will say, let me open up my own Twitter here, trying to plug my Twitter. There are some version of this meme that are super funny. I saw this one for Christmas. Where is it? Dude, this one made me laugh. Jolly Mont. This one made me laugh. I thought it was funny. Oh well, but yeah, let's get back into the tier list. Let me read your guys' comments. Better to keep it missed. I mean, yeah, honestly, the thing is so goofy. The Womanizer General was really custom built to give Subaru an excuse to cross-dress. I mean, sure. Meanwhile, Rezero TikTok is just LARPs and fake readers. Yeah, I mean, it's Rezero TikTok and it's a lot of other communities. I said it before in the stream. I think a lot of new age One Piece fans have not watched or read the entirety of One Piece. I think it's obvious by a lot of the discourse. I think also for people who are older like me, for the fellow boomers in the chat, we're so old, our back hurts. But for people who are older like me and grew up watching the big three, you guys will not believe this, but One Piece, the One Piece community back in the day was the chillest one by far. I know you guys will not believe this, new fans, but it is true, it is a fact. I was there, I saw it. It was the Naruto fans who were completely unhinged. But now Naruto, you know, we all know what happened to Naruto. It's called Boruto, and nobody is watching. Thanks for the explanation. No problem, man. Setoe also explained it. Thank you for the explanation as well. Mine was probably a lot more verbose and convoluted. I wish it was my coloring of this that blew up. That would have been crazy. I mean, I can see it. In a way, you would have been part of a very silly meme, but at the same time, is that not sort of a... Do you want to have that on your record? I think you should think about that. Feeling jolly today. Amnesia Subaru sending presents to everyone. I come back to the stream and the first thing I see are those damn stairs. Yeah. The One Piece community these days is so ass, it's crazy. I mean, yeah, I think it's just... I'll be honest, I think it's just a lot of kids, man. It's just a lot of kids. Back in the day, the One Piece community was super chill because the One Piece community in general was older than the other communities. It was the Naruto communities that went completely unhinged. But nowadays, every single one of the shonen, the army of shonen slop enjoyers, just everybody migrated into One Piece, and that's why the One Piece community is in the state that it is. I would have been the stairs guy for all eternity, true. I mean, I have a point, right? Glad the ascendance of a bookworm community isn't large for the community to evolve in this way. Yeah, I think a lot of communities, if you grow big enough, it's just statistics, right? If you grow big enough, you will have, blah, 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 I can't speak right now. You will have a percentage of idiots, right? And as you grow, the absolute number of idiots will grow because the percentage will also grow, right? So it's just an unfortunate thing. I've heard good things, by the way, about Ascendance of a Bookworm. I have not read it yet because I'm just too busy, as with everything, really. Okay, now, getting back into this. Volume 29. Let's go back to Volume 28, Volume 27. So this was the volume... I mean, the thing about Volume 27 is... I think I love the Todd section, but the cross-dressing section really wasn't it for me. I didn't enjoy it a lot. Let me just remind myself what is the Spica and Beatrice cover. What volume was that? I don't know the covers by heart. I really admire people that know all of the episodes and stuff. Sometimes people talk about quotes and the episode numbers and stuff, and I'm like, damn, how do you remember all that? Guys. I don't want to be this guy, but looking at this lineup, I am going to value the peak of this volume more than I'm going to value the valley. I think it's got to be this one. Guys, it's got to be... it's got to be Volume 36. I'm sorry, guys. Volume 36 is going down to C. And now we have the final demotion. We have to send one single Rezero volume back into the purgatory, back into the depths of D tier, top 19. Which volume are we going to send into the depths, the dreck of the D tier? Which volume are we going to send there? That is the question. So I think this one stays. I think the Ram Chase for what it was fun. I think it might be the Chaos Flame volume, if I'm just being totally honest. It might be the Chaos Flame one, because the Chaos Flame one was just the first volume without Subaru, and just... oh, no, it's not this one. Or is it? No. No, it's this. So the volume 28 is the volume where we had the sort of the aftermath of Guaral, and we went into Chaos Flame for the first time. I think it might be this one. I think it's volume 28. I think it's the worst one out of the remaining ones. Let's see, volume 28, and once again, volume 29. What was volume 30? The Todd one. The one with Todd in the cover. Ooh, yeah, it's between 30 and 28. It's between... This was the first volume without Subaru. It's between 30 and 28. Actually, let me just... Can I just do this? Can I just hack the hyperlink? Hacker, man! I'm such a hacker. Oh my goodness. Is that guy an engineer? Does he have a degree? Oh my goodness. What is this hacking? What are these abilities? Yeah, it's between 28 and 30. One of them is going into purgatory, guys. It's either the Guaral one or the Chaos Flame without Subaru one. And I will once again make a poll. Let's let democracy decide. Democracy is very flawed, but it is effective. So, which one to send to Purgatory? So it's either volume 28. I can't spell for some reason today. Volume 28, which is the Guaral one, or volume 30, which is Chaos Flame without Subaru. Without. Okay, I'll just put Baru because it won't allow me to write such a long title. Either way, start poll. Boom. I will let you guys decide which volume will be sent to Purgatory. Will it be 28 or will it be 30? You guys decide. What other volume in Trash Tier? This is Rezero X8. It hasn't come out yet. Tape sent me the cover. It's the volume he made just for me. I have connections with Tape. You guys don't know about it, but you know it's one of the perks of being a content creator with 1,000 subscribers. Tape messages you personally, and he sends you previews of the next volumes. This is X8, guys. Just so you're aware. Subaru turns into a skeleton and he fights a troll. It's super good volume. You guys should watch it. Okay, it's actually close. 57. It's close. It's close. Let's see. 15 votes. Okay. 54, 56. Wow, it's super close. So just to remind you guys, this is volume 28 where we had the fight against Arakia and also where we had Natsumi Schwartz being her intimate moment with Al, and also where we met Yorna for the first time. And then we have volume 30, where we had the confrontation of Ice and Fire versus Madeline. And then we also had the entire debacle at Chaos Flame, where Subaru was in the black goo. Okay, 17 votes, which was roughly what we got at the time, and it is 41 to 59. Very, very interesting. Very close. I didn't expect this one to be this close. That's super cool. Which I don't know if this means that you guys think that both volumes are mid and you're having a hard time deciding which one is most mid, or if you think that both volumes are good and you're having a hard time deciding which one is less good. I'll let you guys interpret that as you want. Okay, and I will end the poll now. And poll, and 1, 2, 3, and boop. And so volume 39. Volume 39, just to confirm the cover. Oh, I typed 39. It was actually 30, no? I'm an idiot. I typed 39, but it was actually 30. 39 is Arc 9. Silly me. But yeah, 39 goes down into the D Purgatory. And so, yeah, big jump from 28 to 39. Yeah. And so it is done, guys. It took a lot of effort, a lot of thinking, a lot of yapping, and some very fair democratic votes, but we have achieved Nirvana. This is the perfect normal distribution for all 18 volumes of Arc 7, 8, and 9, plus X8, which Tape personally gifted to me, which you do not have access to because Tape likes me more than he likes you. That is totally fine. Don't worry about it. One day you'll get there. So, I think once again, let me know how you guys, what you guys think about this list. I am not going to order it. Like, for example, ordering the top 3 is like asking me to choose between which child I like the most. You do not ask that. That is rude. That is uncouth. That is a very strange question. Do not ask me that. So this is the top 3, top 7, 12, 16, 19. I will not order them. I will not order the tier lists. It will stay like this, and it will remain up for everybody's interpretation. Setoi, I think both of those are mid. Probably the only volumes in ReZero that I think are. I mean, that's fine. That's fine. Big jump from 28 to 39. Yeah, I know. I mistyped, but thankfully everybody understood what I meant. Especially because I said Chaos Flame without Baru, so everybody knows. Fire tier list. Thank you, Slightly Crazy. Also, thank you for the for the contribution to everybody that watched. Volume 67 when? 67? We're going to be here a while before 67. The Firstborn. Ah, come on. You can choose the Firstborn. Come on. Come on, guys. So yeah, this has been today's list. Just as a sort of sneak peek about what I have planned. Maybe I can now switch to the more intimate camera setting. Or maybe can I just put my camera here so you guys still see the chat? Okay, I think you guys are seeing the chat now still with the camera. That's nice. So what I have planned for the rest of the year, or should I say the next few weeks, because I will be on vacation, not vacation, but family affairs, personal engagements, whatever. I'll be very, very busy. I really, really want to review Overlord Volume 8, which was a big meme this stream, but I want to make the review for that volume so that I can continue reviewing Overlord, and then I can finally get to Ishida, which is something I'm looking forward to. I have other Rezero side content planned, but I don't think I will need to do that because I'm pretty sure that Arc 10 will start soon, so I also don't want to overwhelm myself before Arc 10 starts, because I know that once Arc 10 starts, I'll have a lot more content workload to produce. Besides that, it was Overlord. Oh, right. I want to do a tier list for every single anime and donghua that I watched this year. I don't know if that will be a live stream. I would really like to live stream that, but the thing is, it's just going to be a very long video with a lot of yapping. It's a lot of series, probably a lot more than this one. And I don't know if I will have time to stream because I'm sort of on vacation. I have the house for myself. I can scream and say swear words and neighbors won't hear me. So this was a very special occasion, which is why I'm streaming. I don't know when I'll have time to stream again. I think from these just two experiences, really, this one and 2 days ago, I think streaming is super fun. I love this a lot. I think it's very, very fun. And I love engaging with you guys on a live chat. But I just don't have the time to do this on a consistent manner. So, which is a shame. But, you know, it is what it is. We have to work and put food on the table. We have to feed ourselves, which is a huge bother, and pay rent. Ugh, just adult things, which nobody likes, but we need to do them. And so I don't know when my next stream will be. I would like for it to be soon, but I can't promise you guys anything. So if I don't have time to stream, I will likely try to record off stream the tier list for all of the anime and donghua of the year, and then also the volume reviews, and we'll see from there. So for the next year of 2026, what you guys can expect is volume reviews for Rezero chapter reviews, volume reviews for Overlord, and just the usual seasonal anime reviews and whatever stuff I have planned and cooking, sort of like the sort of side content whenever there is time, like for example the tier list for all of the babes in Rezero, the character designs. I think that was a very fun video and it was well received as well, so I think I will make more side content like that. I think that this channel, like I said in a previous video, this isn't a Rezero channel, but it is a Rezero primarily focused channel, if that makes sense. I want to expand my horizons, I want to post different types of content, but at the same time, I do know that most of you guys that are subscribed and there are members, and I'm so grateful for, most of you are Rezero fans. So I will try to, every single month, if there isn't a new chapter or something new to talk about, I will make more Rezero content in some fashion, even if it's just a goofy tier list or something like that. So yeah, I think that is it. Once again, I am very awkward with these streams. I never know how to how to end these streams without it being super awkward and convoluted. But yeah, I think that's it. And if anyone has something else to say, speak now or be quiet forever. Oh, also a quick plug, follow me on the Twitter if you want to see the occasional posts. I just post more goofy stuff there that I don't post on YouTube. Sometimes I'm watching something and I don't have time to make a video, but I just want to make a post like, this is nice, or go watch this, or whatever. And so, yeah, follow me on the Twitter thingy, and yeah, that's nice. Okay, so this was it. Once again, I don't know how to end stream, so I'll just click the button in 3,